Word.
Hello and welcome to the show, the Word Show. This is audios to your ears, courtesy of us.
If you like words, we're gonna say them. We're gonna
My
say
God, one language only.
English today. We might get to some other languages in the future, but for now,
Never.
no, never. Just kidding.
I'm
It's
gonna
only
take that off the target right here and now.
that. Sure. It would be hard to learn a second language just so that we could say all the words.
The
in it.
lingual exploration aspect of this show is one that no one has asked for,
Yes.
and you know what? We're gonna give it to you.
That's. I mean,
The nothing that you have asked for.
when we started this show, we started it with one goal in mind, and that was to say every word. And if you weren't on board with that with episode 1, you sure as shoot are on board by now.
I thought you were gonna say the opposite.
No.
That you sure as shoot are not on board with it by now.
No, they love it. They love to hear us say the words, all
Uh-huh.
of them, every single word.
Several different types.
From short words to long words, adjectives,
Flabbergasted.
curmudgeonly.
Okay, I'll say a type of word and then you say a word
All right, that's
that fits it.
okay. Great.
A noun.
Boat,
A verb.
sail,
An adverb.
swimmingly.
Wow, that was really good.
I got nautical on the mind, I
That-
guess.
yeah, totally.
What can I say? I'm married to the sea.
That would be like an incredible catch line for a show about like a little 10-year-old boy who just loves to like race boats or something, or it's something about a 10-year-old boy at sea, and what he says is, what can I say? I'm married to the sea.
He schools everybody in the local regatta. And
Yeah.
all the old hoity-toities are like, this guy is not even out of school.
He's
I'm
married to the sea.
I'm old ass money. What's this guy? What's this little kid doing here?
I'm just married to my wife.
The sea. And everybody goes, oh, it's. I like it now.
It would be called Joey Boat.
Great show. I wish we could say we watched an episode of Joey Boat, but instead, we are the podcast, The Island Shuffle.
Yeah, we
And
talk about Lost.
We talk about Lost, and we watch it in the wrong order.
Yeah.
And this week, what we do is we watch an episode of season 1, season 3, episode 11, called Enter 77.
Yes.
I was distracted because James Brown put his glasses on his microphone.
It's a really funny look, actually. I might take a photo.
Honestly, please do, because it's very funny.
But you can keep going while I do this.
I'll keep going. Don't let your glasses fall off of your microphone and let them break.
They're expensive.
They're expensive, and is this joke worth a new pair of glasses?
Definitely not. It's not that funny.
It's not that funny, but it's charming. So what we do upon this show, as I said, watch Lost in a random order. This week, kind of exciting because, we're quite deep into Lost. We generally have a good sense of the entire structure of the show at this point. But this episode arrives in the middle of a block of like 6 episodes or so that we haven't seen, 6 or 7 episodes. So we have very little immediate context for what's going on. And the episode is self-contained enough that it's actually kind of fine, kind of works out.
Yeah, it's good. It's like really good, actually.
Mhm.
It's fun. The part of this episode that I liked most is this seems to be in the block where they push in our favorite characters, Nikki and Paolo.
Yes.
So it's like whenever we first saw, so Nikki and Paolo, legendarily, I guess, have this god-awful standalone episode in the 3rd season. And whenever we saw that episode, I don't think we had been introduced to them yet.
No, not at all.
And I think we maybe have seen them in one other episode so
Yeah.
far. But it seems like this is like in a maybe 4 or 5 episode run where they just try and like create these new characters out of thin air.
Yeah, they kind of like are peppered in. There's a B plot where they're just kind of around hanging out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, okay, this is where we are. This is where Nikki and Paolo is hiding.
Yeah, so it's funny. It's fun that this is a little black hole in like Lost that we haven't quite seen much of yet. Is the Nikki and Paolo
arc.
Yeah.
Extended arc.
Exactly. It's fun to learn more about them.
It is. It's always fun to hear from them. This is a Sayid episode.
It's the Sayid episode.
All about our favorite Iraqi former member of the torturer. Yes.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start on this one?
I could do Honestly, I could do flashback.
Yeah? I kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the most like contained, most sensical.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty straightforward story, and it's by far like the strong point dramatically of this episode.
Yeah, let's start there for sure. So Sayid is a chef now. We're all very proud of Sayid because
Uh-huh.
he can cook a mean dish.
So I guess this is post Sayid escaping
Yes.
Iraqi.
Yes.
Like leaving the service. and-
Yes. This is in fact takes place in Paris, France.
Oh, it's in Paris.
Paris.
Yeah. I
City
guess
of
I saw
Lights.
the Eiffel Tower. Of course, it's Paris.
It would be funny if if you saw the Eiffel Tower and then the final scene was like, well, I've been haunted ever since I came here to Brampton,
Oh
Ontario.
my God.
or some shit. Came here to Des Moines, Idaho.
Brampton, Ontario. Ever since I came here to London, Ontario.
Double twist.
Yes. My God. But no, he's in Paris.
No, he's in
and
Paris.
he's working as a chef.
Working-
Yeah, I guess so.
Making an honest living, cooking a decent grub.
And there is this man who just loves Said's food.
He says, yummy!
Yummy.
Get
Come
me-
here, chef.
My compliments to the chef. Wait, don't even bother. Give me the chef and I'll give him the compliments myself.
Which is something I've never seen before.
No.
Maybe I don't go to the right type of. I definitely don't go to the right type of restaurants, but I'm unconvinced that this is a real thing of like calling out the chef to tell him how good the food is.
Well, Sayid is rightfully suspicious of this.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, what? This makes no sense.
He's like, yeah, basically the guy is like, this is delicious. Also, where are you from, sir? And Sayid A uses a fake name and
Yeah.
and B claims he's from Syria.
Yeah.
And Buddy calls him out on it, starts speaking in Arabic and saying, I know you're Iraqi. You're as Iraqi as me. I can tell. Don't even worry about it.
You idiot.
Then the guy says, listen, I'll pay you double what you're making now if you come work at my restaurant. Sayid is obviously like, you do this for a stranger because you liked one dish?
Uh-huh.
And the man says, hey, we got to look out for each other. And also, my chef just quit, so, you know.
Chill.
So chill.
Sounds like a great opportunity.
Sounds like a great opportunity for Sayid, right? And
this nice man who
Uh,
knows good food when he sees it.
a nice man who can also tell that he's Iraqi.
Uh-huh.
And so Sayid says, what have I got to lose? Goes to the restaurant and says, hello, I'm looking for a man named Sammy. And
Sugar Sammy.
Sugar Sammy. And Sammy says,
Sugar Sammy lives in Paris.
Sugar Sammy lives in Paris and runs a restaurant and
Yeah.
is from Iraq. And says, hey, glad you can make it, Sayid. This is my restaurant. Make yourself at home. I'd also like you to meet my wife. And
He says it like Borat for some reason.
he says it like Borat in a way that is not funny.
Yeah. It's a really tense moment, and
Yeah.
the guy goes, also, I'd like you to meet my wife,
And then he says, have you seen Borat? It's very funny. You must see it.
which was topical because this was like 2005
Yes,
at the
it would have been
time.
very on the doesn't make sense in the timeline of the show. But the writers just loved Borat so much they just couldn't help themselves. They had to work it in.
That's funny. I've actually never seen Borat.
I saw it back in the day and remember thinking it was quite funny.
Yeah.
I
I bet it didn't age well.
Oh, I doubt it aged even a little bit. I am very, very raised eyebrows about it.
Crazy. Did you hear what Borat was gonna name his autobiography?
I think I might have heard this one. I think
yeah.
Is it gonna be? Is it My Life?
Yeah, it's that.
That's great. That's good.
Okay, we can continue now.
Okay, finally, we got the Borat out of the system. We can continue talking about Saeed's horrid past.
Totally. That's like really crazy, like sad storyline.
It's genuinely sad. So the wife that we made the my wife joke about comes up and shakes Saeed's hand, and Sayid realizes, oh, she's got burn scars all the way down both of her arms. And then two men grab Sayid. Sammy says, is this the man? And the wife says, yes, that is him. And Sayid says, I don't know what you're talking about, but before he can get another word in, he's been conked out.
They kicked the shit out of him.
They really dome Sayid, who is more than capable of defending himself.
Yeah. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's really intense.
Catches you off guard, for sure.
Yeah.
I you know, I know it's going to be a dark and dreary torture episode for old Sayid. Wouldn't it have been nice for Sayid to just, like, have a fun time in the restaurant industry?
Yeah.
He's just like,
to be like, Sayid got a better job.
he got a better job. He might have faced some challenges in the kitchen because he's not used to it as much, but guess what? He overcomes them, and he learns to make the nicest dish of all.
Oh, that'd be cool. It's like Ratatouille.
No, he doesn't get to get happy, though.
I want to do Mousatouille.
Excuse me?
It's like Ratatouille, but with a mouse.
I feel like that might be like a bootleg version of
Yeah,
Ratatouille.
probably. Do those movies still happen?
There is, in fact, some kind of, I want to say based out of Brazil. That might be wrong. But they basically, their whole, like, marketing premise is churn out, like, movies as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
That are, like, technically still legally movies, but, like, crap ass.
Uh-huh.
And then name them, like this movie, for
Name
instance.
them, like, really close to real movies.
So
right?
that, like, people see them in the bargain bin and go, oh, that must be it. And there's a movie.
Snakes on a Train. I've seen this one.
The movie I'm thinking of in particular is Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
It is a nightmare. It is
My
a full-fledged
God.
nightmare.
You've seen it?
I've seen it. It's like 40 minutes long. One night of, like, just being on one. Someone put it on at like 3 a.m. and just we sat down and watched it all. And Dan Brown, who you may know as the voice of Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, I just know him as my cousin.
Oh yes, because you're James.
Yeah.
Of Brown, Jim of Brown.
Jim of Brown. But Dan Brown, Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh does have a voice in this. Anyways, that's Ratatouille. Check it out. It's on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, what's this company? It's like Kapow something or
something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
But I wonder if they still make movies because I feel like it was such a DVD era thing.
Yeah.
And now that people don't buy physical movies anymore,
That's
I feel
exactly
like
it. I wonder if Netflix is picking up these imitations.
That's a good question. I feel like Amazon Prime Video has a lot of like really subpar stuff like that.
It does. You can really get like caught. Like if you like start like all these streaming sites are like, here's the front page. Here's the stuff we want you to see. But as soon as you start like looking for stuff, you just find like bizarre
There's
things.
so much crazy shit. Yeah. Amazon Prime Video has a lot of like conspiracy sort of documentaries, which I find really interesting. That like they are both like sort of feeding conspiracy theorists while also like providing the dystopian world as well, where they like own everything and they put Alexa in your home and they listen to you. So it's just like this bizarre.
Yeah, and then so then they're like, it must be the aliens or the secret one world government, and definitely not the one of 5 mega corporations.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. It's cool. It's cool.
It is cool. Yeah. It's really cool.
It's chill. Whatever.
Let's give it up to Jeffrey Bezos.
Yeah, send me some goddamn socks tomorrow.
Send me some socks tomorrow.
I'll give you $12.
I'll give you, I'll give you 13.
My God.
That's right. Where were we? Sayid's being held captive.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sayid is being held captive in a dank closet. The man gives him a bowl of water, says, "Sip from this bowl," and then he says, "Tell me the truth. You were a torturer for the Republican Guard, and you tortured my wife. You poured burning oil over my wife's arms." And Sayid says, "Listen, you are correct. I was in the Republican Guard, and I was a torturer, but I did not torture your wife. I would remember that." And so to this end, the man just starts beating him up some.
Yeah, he starts punching him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Is his wife there at the time? Do we ever find out his wife's name?
Oh, gosh. I hope we find out his wife's name, because the wife is pretty critical.
Yeah, she's sort of the star. But I feel bad that we don't know her name.
Yeah.
But she really speaks once.
She has like one scene where she speaks
and
severely.
She is mostly referred to as my wife.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Huh.
Whatever.
Not great.
Yeah.
But listen,
I mean, she is his wife.
it's not wrong. Not wrong.
Um,
I'm sure that Sammy's like,
My wife, whatever.
come here,
Yeah.
like
After his weird Borat thing
Yeah,
is
exactly.
over. We were just so caught off guard by that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sayid is basically like through this like being punched in the face,
Yeah.
through this being constantly brutalized, tortured effectively. He says, "I cannot admit to something I didn't do." Sammy says, "Guess what, Bucko? My wife admitted to something she didn't do."
Yeah.
And it's because of you. And Sayid still is holding out. The man says, "Enough of these fists of mine. Let's go for the big
How
rod."
about that old pipe I got?
But then the wife says, "No, that's enough for today. No more of this." Next scene we get is, boy, what a scene!
This is the scene.
This is a scene. The wife comes in with a cat.
Uh-huh.
He's holding the cat, petting the cat. Sits down with Sayid alone and says, "Listen, when I fled Iraq, I didn't leave, and we came here. I didn't leave my house for days. I was too scared. But then I saw that this very cat outside getting tormented by some kids. And so I took that cat and brought it inside and said, 'You're my cat now.'"
You're really capturing the elegant monologue that she gave. So I took that cat and brought it inside, and I said, "You're my cat now."
That's what people listen to this show, right? For me recounting dramatically deadly serious monologues for in a very matter-of-fact voice and paraphrasing them, kind of. That's the appeal, right?
That is essentially what we do.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny just because Lost usually doesn't offer anything this sort of dramatically potent, I guess.
It really is something.
It's really tense. It's like it's really great. Her speech is like a minute and a half. It's like we were like both very quiet for the whole thing, whereas I feel like we can sort of like make fun of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, or at least, but it just like it shuts you up, and you have to listen to this lady, and it's like a really cool monologue.
Yeah, and it's a great monologue because it also, basically where it ends up going is I took this cat in and I cared for this cat, but this cat still sometimes bites me because the cat sometimes forgets that it's safe. And I understand what it's like to never feel safe. It's like a really powerful monologue about just like what it's like to live with trauma.
Totally, yeah.
From Lost, the show about the smoke monster manifesting as your dad sometimes.
Yeah, the polar bear in the jungle show.
Well, here's just some real shit about trauma. And Sayid responds by breaking down and just like sobbing and admitting.
He admits to
he admits
what
it.
he did.
He admits to what he did. This is also a cool thing because when this flashback starts, you kind of the way I thought it was going. At least I remember how I thought it was going was like, Sayid's getting a taste of his own medicine. He's gonna have to. He's getting tormented for something he didn't do, but he did this to other people too. So oh no. It turns out he actually did do this thing.
Totally,
he did do this crime, and he has to actually really confront his fucking horrible deeds in a way that
like the person. He'd not even like
not even like
via anything.
Not even like that's like the concept of doing it.
Totally.
Like actually to the person, and he like breaks down.
Yeah.
He says, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the horrible things I've done. Of course I remember your face. Your face and every other face has haunted me ever since I left." Like it's. Lost doesn't usually get this shit right.
No, totally.
It almost always kind of just fucks it up big time. But me and James were both just like, when the scene ended, we both just like looked at each other and were like, "Yo."
Yeah, it's crazy. And it felt like out of place because of all of the island stuff that was taking place. That's like a little bit more whimsical than I think they meant for it to be.
A little bit. We'll get into it.
Yeah. So it's like, but it was this really tense, really great scene.
And how does it end? It ends with the wife saying, through tears, they're both crying. Through tears, the wife says, I forgive you, and I'm going to tell my husband that I made a terrible mistake, that it was not you who tortured me. And Sayid says, why would you do that? You have every right to enact your revenge. And the woman says, hey, we are all capable of doing what those kids did to this cat, but today I'm not going to be that person. And it's like, what
it's cool.
what?
Yeah.
Who came out? Who's the writer who came out of nowhere
Yeah.
to like nail this one scene? Who's like,
what 30-year-old white guy from California wrote this one? Or like, is this the same person who came up with Jacob?
It
What
is.
going on
it
here?
is. That's what's bonkers. So I guess, stop clocks, right?
Yeah.
Twice a day. It's what is like actually probably like a top 5 scene
Totally.
through the whole show.
Yeah.
Like
I would say so.
on another
Because
level.
it's one of the only ones that carries like real dramatic tension and
Mhm.
where you really get. It's like her presence in that scene is like, I don't know, it's insane. There's so much gravity to her as a
Mhm.
character.
And we don't we know so little about her. It's
Yeah.
literally just like in that one scene, that actress sells it.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
It's just what a scene.
What a scene.
So that's
That's the
Sayid.
flashback.
That's the flashback. What's going on back on the island though?
My God. Well, we got our crew.
We got our crew. We got our classic crew. You got to have Sayid there, of course. But you've also got Locke and Kate. Some other very top tier guys.
Those are prime candidates to join any crew.
Any crew. And who else is here? Of course, you got to have Danielle Rousseau.
Danielle Rousseau, what is she doing with these people?
Hanging out.
This makes no sense.
They're hanging out.
They're hanging out.
They're friends, and they're going on a journey to save their friend Jack from
I
the
guess
others.
they're going to see this weird house. I guess that's why they have Rousseau.
That's what it is.
Rousseau knows where a thing is.
Rousseau, if you're going into the jungle alone, having Rousseau on your side, far
Yeah.
from the worst thing to have.
It's cool.
But then Sayid stumbles into a cow.
A cow. A cow?
A cow on this island? What the friggin'
What
heck?
is going on here?
Well, guess what? That cow belongs to some weird farmhouse.
A farmhouse?
Sayid sees a farmhouse. They all see it now. They're all like, wow, there's a cat, there's hay, there's a building. This is wacky.
Let's go check it
Let's
out.
go check it out. Rousseau immediately, sensible one, says, No,
this is insane.
I am not going into a farmhouse that is clearly occupied with livestock.
Yeah.
Someone lives here, so bye. I'm back to living alone in the woods again. Sayid decides to approach unarmed. And gets shot
Yeah. In the arm.
in the arm.
They try to unarm him.
It's true. Imagine if he gets shot and both his arms just fly off.
That would be awesome.
That would be one heck of a shot. Some marksmanship.
That would be impressive. Give that man the gold medal.
Give him the gold medal for gun.
He gets, and you know who's shooting him? It's
Who?
the one-eyed man.
The one-eyed man, eyepatched man.
Eyepatchy.
We've seen him around in some other late season 3 eps. He's an antagonist of sorts. But this is
He's scary because he has an eye patch.
he's scary because he's an eye patch and he talks
And he's
with-
Russian.
He's Russian and grizzled.
Yeah.
But this would be the normal audience's first time seeing this man.
Yeah. That's
He's-
cool. Well, they would have seen him before
Right.
on a camera one time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But this is our first time meeting him in the flesh, let's say. Let's not say that.
We won't say that.
We won't say that. We're never saying that again.
But so he shoots Sayid, and then he like runs out of the little
Yes.
farmhouse.
But he gets ambushed by Kate and Locke, who hold him back at gunpoint.
They have guns.
And Locke says, all right, I'm going to check out inside. And the man says, my name is Mikhail, and I am the last surviving member of the Dharma Initiative.
Oh, shit. And he's got like a Dharma jumpsuit on.
He's got a Dharma jumpsuit on, and he also, while he's shooting Sayid, he's like, "You're one of the hostiles. You're a liar. Yeah, you're one of the others." And Sayid, like, they're all like, "No, no, no. We're from a plane crash. No, no, no." Classic, like, classic lost bullshit. So Mikhail says, "All right, let me make it up to you by sewing up your bullet wound, Sayid." And so Sayid's getting stitched up, and Mikhail's kind of just like giving a long monologue about like his whole deal, which is he was with the Soviet military. Then, the Soviet Union fell, and he was out of a job. So he replied to a newspaper ad to join the Dharma Initiative and came here ever since. And then he talks a little more about, like, you know, what happened to the rest of the Dharma Initiative, how they got purged. And he's basically like, they let me live because I chose not to participate in the purge. And as long as I don't leave, you know, my fence, as long as I don't cross my fence, they leave me be. It's fine. It's worth noting that there's also a big honkin' satellite dish on this farmhouse. This farmhouse is
got computers and shit.
It's got computers and shit. Intercut with this whole monologue is Kate and Locke looking around at the place, and there's a lot of things happening at once. Where Kate finds like a pile of like circuit boards. Locke opens a fridge and finds just some meat and stuff.
Oh yeah, big meat fridge.
It really does a good job of like establishing a setting.
Yeah.
And this is also mentioned, you know, also during this monologue, Mikhail mentions like this is one of the Dharma stations. It's not just a crazy barn house. It's a Dharma station. And the purpose of it is to communicate with the outside world. But the satellite dish doesn't work anymore. So
they broke
whatever.
it.
They broke it. Satellite machine broke. Whatever.
Ever since the purge, we haven't been able to talk anymore.
Exactly. Rip.
Can't be on my MSN.
Yeah, hit me on my mobile. Hit me on my BlackBerry.
My BlackBerry.
'Cause the satellite dish don't work no more. It's like a comically large satellite dish, too.
Yeah, it's giant. Well, do you remember those old satellite dishes?
No.
Like, I remember some of them. Just like the old ones before the, like, standard size sort of silvery looking thing.
Right.
There would be some people with these old ones that you have to, like, hook up in your front yard.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's this giant, like, 8 foot tall structure.
I do not have a memory of that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I remember I can think of 2
Hmm.
that I've seen ever.
Oh, in my lifetime, I can only, and that's odd because you're younger than me. But like, I only remember the little silvery ones.
Yeah, no, those I guess PEI was late to the trend, you know.
Maybe, yeah. Which is sounds like PEI, but also weird that New Brunswick would be on top of it.
Yeah, New Brunswick is a modern province.
Yeah, you know, some would disagree.
There's an amount of modernity there.
Sure, yeah. Well, I'll accept that.
But he's just trying to watch satellite TV. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's just trying to see the West Coast football games.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, I like this scene. It does a good job of like dumping a lot of information at once, even though it is like clearly artificial.
Yeah.
It feels pretty all right.
Yeah. Yeah, Mikhail is a fun character, and him pretending to be something is fun.
Yes, that is very fun. Also, I want to point out that while Mikhail's doing surgery, he's wearing glasses over his eye patch.
Yeah, which is cool.
That is a great
I've never
look.
seen that before.
So also while Locke is fucking around, he finds a computer. And what's on this computer? This like Commodore 64 looking ass computer. It's a game of chess.
It's a game of chess.
And he says, "Yes, I'm going to play this game of chess now." And
that is what he does for a while.
He does that for quite a bit. And so Mikhail finishes stitching up Sayid and says, "All right, how about this? Let me hook you up with some iced tea, buddy."
Hell yes, Mikhail.
And Sayid's like,
says to make up for it.
To make up for the
shooting you.
And Sayid's like, "Sounds good." So while Mikhail's doing in the kitchen, Kate and Sayid kind of like break it down, and they're like, "Does this make sense to you? Does it make sense to you that the others would just let this guy live with all this like comms equipment lying around?" And Sayid's like, "You're right. It doesn't make sense. He's obviously in a hospital."
Yeah.
Which I love.
Oh yeah, it's like, yeah, you're right. He is obviously another.
This new guy who gets introduced immediately, goes on a whole spiel about his backstory, and then Sayid's like, just like not even like 5 minutes later, just like, "That's all a lie."
Yeah. Sayid's a smart guy.
Sayid's a smart guy. This is a great episode for Sayid being a smart guy. And Kate's like, "Well, what are we still doing here?" And Sayid says, "Well, I don't know how many people, he may not be the only one."
Yeah. He seems pretty certain that this guy's not alone, which I don't understand how he knows that.
I don't think he's certain. He's not willing to assume that he is alone.
That makes sense.
I think that's what it is. So, Mikhail brings back some iced tea, and they have a really awkward conversation where both of the guys know that they know that they know.
Yeah.
But they don't know that they know that they know.
They don't know that the other person knows that they know.
Mm-hmm. And then eventually, like, Mikhail breaks the awkwardness with maybe the wildest line of the episode.
It's cool.
He's like, I think Sayid's like talking about, like, you know, we used to have a sailboat, but the hostiles took it. At least we got to kill one of them in the process, making unblinking eye contact with Mikhail.
Pretty rude. You know that's his friends.
That's his friends, and that's what tips Mikhail over the edge. He says, why do we both continue to play this little game when we both know that it's moved on to the next stage?
And then he throws the iced tea at Sayid's head and misses horribly.
He misses point blank.
He's right beside Sayid, and he throws this giant jug at him, and he can't hit him.
He cannot hit him.
He's so stupid.
It's the lack of depth perception.
Yeah, old depth perception, man. My God.
So, in the ensuing tussle, I think they managed to get the upper hand. Sayid and Kate both managed to kick Mikhail's ass, and by the time he's already subdued, Locke like comes out of the chess room like with a gun, confused,
like what did I miss?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Before we move on, there's one scene that I want to mention that is completely twisted. Mikhail like checks up on Locke before he goes to make iced tea. He checks up on Locke playing the chess game and says, "Don't waste your time. I've been playing that thing for 10 years. It was made by a bunch of grandmasters, and also it cheats. Can't be beaten. Don't even worry about it." And Locke replies by saying, "Well, you know, I've played a lot of computers, and computers don't cheat. It's part of what makes being human so fascinating." And Mikhail just leaves without saying a word. Just says, "All right."
This guy's too much. I'm the Russian guy with the eye patch in the woods, and even he is too much for me.
I may be spinning a yarn of lies about the Dharma Initiative and their whole history.
Yeah.
But this guy, I'm just gotta say fuck off to this guy.
Yeah, I will be damned if the last words I hear before my death are this man's pothead philosophy. Fucking.
Dude, you ever think about how video games don't cheat?
Dude.
But we can cheat with a video game.
Dude.
Man. That's being a human. It's so cool, man.
Dude.
Anyways, Locke loves to game.
That's essentially what he does.
Locke's a gamer now.
He's an idiot.
He's an idiot and a gamer. He's my favorite dipshit gamer.
Dipshit gamer. That's my YouTube channel.
Dipshit_gamer.
Yeah.
_420.
Half of the videos are me gaming. The other half are me dipping shit in things.
Sounds monetizable.
Yeah. There's a lot of videos where you think I'm gaming, but then you find out that I was actually dipping shit in things. There's my most popular one is where I get my character in Grand Theft Auto to dip some shit.
What an intricate mod that must be.
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
$1 million spent on a Grand Theft Auto mod where you can make one of the heroes of Grand Theft Auto dip shit into something.
But it was worth it because I got 700 views.
A new record.
A new record for me. It's just growing. It's just growing.
It is. Honestly, you got to make content.
You got to make contact. What?
Content.
Oh, content. Contact. I was like, with who?
With the people.
My God.
With the people with your shit content.
With my shitty content.
With your dipshit_gamer content.
So what happens now? Mikhail is like tied up on the floor.
Yes. And Sayid's like, we got to scour the whole place because what if there's someone else? And Locke says, "Well, I looked over every nook and cranny of this place." No, you didn't. You just played chess for a
Yeah,
for
you literally
only
have
played
played
chess.
almost an entire game of chess.
Got immediately distracted by chess. By chess? Like you couldn't like you.
It wasn't like, this knife closet. It was interesting. 'Cause
Yeah,
Locke loves knives.
Locke, notorious chess fiend.
Oh
Like,
my god.
what in the world are you talking about? Anyways, Locke is like, well, I love chess so much,
I'm a chess guy.
and Sayid says you didn't check every nook and cranny, and then dramatically whoops over the rug on the ground and reveals a hatch down there. And so Locke is tasked with keeping an eye on Mikhail tied up. And
Keeping 2 eyes on him, ideally.
Ideally. And Sayid and Kate descend into the basement. They descend into the basement, and they find a bunch of stuff.
Dharma shit.
Some Dharma shit. They find a bunch of Dharma shit, and they also find a bunch of C4 wired everywhere. They're like, that's weird. Uh-oh. They also find a lady.
A lady.
Remember Ms. Clue?
No.
She was in that one Michael episode. She was like interrogating Walt about it. She was like interrogating Michael about Walt, rather.
Yeah. She's just a mystical lady.
Yeah, just a lady who's an other.
Yeah.
And she's here. Here she is. Anyways, upstairs, meanwhile, Locke literally immediately abandons his one job to go play more chess. I'm not joking.
He just leaves. There's this guy on the ground who has tried to kill them already.
Yes, tried to kill them multiple times.
Yeah, he shot Sayid, then tried to kill Sayid again. Your friends took care of him while you played chess. You're tasked with just looking at him.
Looking at him and keeping a gun upon him, maybe.
But Locke just goes and plays chess.
Goes and plays chess, and like, how horny for chess can you be?
Insanity.
Look, as a self-professed gamer,
Uh-huh.
I love to game at all hours of the day.
Uh-huh.
It's like live, breathe, sleep game kind of deal for me. But even still,
sometimes something takes precedent.
it's also really funny. It would be very funny to me if it was like the newest game on the market.
Totally.
Locke gets distracted by Fortnite or some shit.
Oh, hell
By
yes.
Apex Legends or some shit.
By Tony Hawk's.
Tony Hawk Underground. Instead, it's just chess.
It's
and it's not even like a chess board or anything. It's literally like chess. He has to fucking like
he has
punch
to type.
in. He has to type in like an obscure code to denote like fucking rook to c4 or whatever, and then hit enter.
But that's like Locke's type of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's right up Locke's alley.
That's
The
that's
lonely middle-aged man.
Yeah,
thing.
he definitely had a chess thing installed on every single device
Yeah, I
had.
think so.
He had chess on his flip phone for sure.
On his Palm Pilot
And his BlackBerry.
and his BlackBerry.
So, chess. Locke wins the chess game. Can you believe it? He win.
Go on.
He wins the chess game, and he's so happy about it. He's just the happiest we've ever seen Locke in the entire history of the show.
And then the chess game goes nuts.
The chess game dismisses itself, and what comes up but a full high-quality VHS video of the Dharma Initiative man. I forget his name. Pierre Chang, Miles' dad.
Yeah.
He's there, and he says, "You've unlocked the communications code. To communicate with the mainland, press 1, 2. To do this other thing, press 3, 4. It's effectively he's on hold, right? But fucking the guy is actually saying all these things.
So the way that you communicate in this thing is by beating a computer at chess.
And
then a video pops up.
A full motion video pops up on this fucking Commodore 64.
Yeah, from 1971.
There is not a more... You really couldn't come up with a more efficient way of, like, doing your emergency communications.
It's insanity.
And it goes on like this, and, you know, basically, Locke says, I want to communicate with the mainland. Boop. Oh, but... And then the video goes, the satellite dish is down. If this is due to a technical error, press this. If this is due to a hostile incursion, enter 7-7. But before he can enter 7-7, Mikhail
Knife to his throat.
throws a knife to his throat and says, "Don't even make a move, buddy.
And Locke is like, wow, I should have watched you.
I should have watched you."
I'm a frickin' idiot.
I just want to state, all in one go, the Dharma Initiative's system for the emergency situation where the station has been irreversibly taken over by hostile is you have to go beat chess
You have to play a whole game of chess.
and then go through this long ass system of full videos.
You have to attempt to make communication first,
Yes.
and the communication must fail.
Yes. And then you can do this emergency failsafe where the hostiles have incurred. Like,
After watching the videos.
after watching the video, I also want to stress, where are these videos coming from?
Where are they being held?
What is this? I want to see the fucking laser disc that's holding these files.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me that floppy.
Fucking. But it's cool.
It's-
Whatever.
It has like a dramatic effect of like, what's the point of this chess game? Oh, this is the point of this chess game. Cool.
It's a weird workaround.
Yeah.
It's not believable.
It's not believable, but it's like goofy. It's like a good balance of like a goofy Lost.
Yeah,
It's very
it's
top
something.
tier goofy Lost, I think. Not top tier, but like
Ghost.
yeah. Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. I love that guy.
That guy is great. So Mikhail's got Locke hostage. Sayid and Kate have Ms. Clue hostage. This escalates. They go outside. Everybody's tense. Everyone's shouting at each other. Ms. Clue and Mikhail are shouting at each other in Russian. It's all happening so fast. And then the lady says, "Just do it, Mikhail." And Mikhail shoots
Miss Clue.
And then I think tries to shoot himself as well.
Yeah.
But before he can do that, he's wrestled to the ground and taken prisoner again. So, Danielle comes back. Sayid comes back. They've got Mikhail, and they're like, "We've got our ticket to our next stop." And Mikhail says, "Fuck you, I'm not telling you shit." And Sayid says, "Oh, no, I didn't say that. I've got a map. I pulled a map from all the Dharma bullshit downstairs. Don't even worry about it. I know where to go next." And then Locke and Kate come through, and Locke's like, "I know why you didn't want me to beat your little chess game." And then, guess what? The fucking station blows up.
It all blows up.
It blows up.
It's crazy.
That's what happens when you enter 77, I guess.
It blows the whole thing up. Why?
So that they don't have to go back there again.
Weird.
So that they don't have to fucking, like... I think that's just literally an easy way for them to be like... Because if they can be like, I wonder if there's some source of information at the Barnhouse
We
station.
could go back to the Barnhouse and
Get
look
some-
for something.
Get some valuable information, I
Yeah.
bet. Instead, they just blow it up. The writers do. I mean, Locke
That's
does.
stupid.
Locke does, because probably the stupidest thing of the episode.
Yeah.
A pretty fine and fun episode that is ended by a very dumb decision.
Yeah, it's dumb.
And
Oh,
then
well,
and
that's
that's the end of the episode.
Yeah. There's one side plot,
There is a side plot. You're right.
and it's a really good side plot.
It's pretty good.
Hurley was gone, or not Hurley. Our protagonist.
Our protagonist Sawyer was gone, but he's back now.
Yeah.
But guess what? While he was gone, all his stuff that he famously stole has gotten taken.
Famously.
Infamously. And everybody's using it, and he says, "That's my copy of Guns and Ammo." And then he says, and then also he notices some people setting up a ping pong table. And he says, "Goodness gracious me. You guys forgot that I run. These are all my things, and you all took them, and that's no fair.
You idiots.
You
give it back.
Dumbasses." This is also where Nikki and Paolo show up. They're just kind of like around for this whole bit.
They have his things, and they egg him on.
Yes, they egg him on. Basically, they, for some reason, Sawyer agrees to play Hurley for a game of ping pong at this.
Where if he wins, Sawyer gets all his stuff back. If he loses, Sawyer can't call anyone a nickname for a week.
Yes. Damn. This kind of occurs to me where there was an other heavy Sayid does a torture episode, and it's like a lot of morality stuff. With a B plot where Sawyer and Hurley have a funny adventure together.
Yeah, I guess it's a
where they go to find a
technique.
frog and go on a funny frog adventure.
I like this one better.
This one's better. This one feels more grounded in like a real thing.
Totally. Yeah.
The stakes are not like the stakes are human. They're not like fucking huge.
I could see it happening
Mhm.
somewhat.
And you get to see Hurley apparently domes Sawyer.
He kills Sawyer.
He kills Sawyer, comes back, and says something very funny, which is like, it looks like that last slam I didn't do any permanent damage to your head.
My
Just
God,
roast
Hurley.
Sawyer.
Let the man be.
And then he says, here's some of your stuff back. I know you're the kind of guy that needs to have stuff. And you know what else? Kate's going to be fine, dude. Don't worry about it.
Aw.
And then says, Zip, don't forget, can't call me Tubby or whatever. You got to call me Hurley.
Or Hugo.
And it's a nice little thing. It's a nice little bit of levity.
It's a good B plot.
It's a good B plot. It's a pretty all right episode, wouldn't you say?
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
It's good Lost.
It's good Lost. Very uneven. One of the best scenes we've ever seen.
Very uneven.
One of the best scenes we've ever seen, mixed with one of the weirdest plot devices we've ever seen, which is the chest.
Dumbest Locke has ever been.
It's definitely pretty dumb of Locke.
Yeah.
To just be like, I'm going to enter 77. Fucking whatever.
Just that he plays chess instead of doing anything.
Yeah. Why would that be the way that he is? Because I guess the script said we can't have a knowledgeable source of information anymore.
Yeah.
Only for one episode.
My God.
Anyways, as I'm sure we're all aware, this episode raised many questions.
Uh-huh. Do you have any answers?
Well, Lostpedia.
I have answers.
Lostpedia has been kind enough to compile these questions and answers for us.
Uh-huh.
So, question raised by this episode, one of them. What was the nature of the purge?
They just wanted to kill the Dharma people to take over their place?
Yes, indeed. And then they buried all of their corpses in a pit.
Yeah, cool.
Who initiated the war between Dharma and the Hostiles?
I bet it was the Hostiles.
Ambiguous, but the others have consistently shown a pattern of being territorial on the island, hostile to any intruders. But they also assert that the intruding parties fired the first shots. Regardless of who shot first, both the Hostiles and Dharma attempted pacifism, soon agreeing to a truce.
Weird.
So, the answer is not really, kind of complicated.
No one, yeah.
Probably nobody.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous, effectively. How much did the Dharma and the Hostiles know about one another?
I don't know.
What? That's a very broad
Why
question.
is that in this episode's questions?
That's a very good question. Maybe this is just one of the first episodes that tries to like address the relationships
Yeah, that
between
could be,
Dharma and the
actually.
Hostiles, because
Yeah.
they're both just kind of like these distinct things. For a while, people like think that the others are like left over from Dharma, right? Like it's not really clear that they're like a separate thing.
I don't know. I guess they know a bit about it. Ambiguous.
Actually, not ambiguous, but long and kind of odd. It doesn't appear that the Hostiles were ever particularly familiar with the secret going-ons of Dharma. Most of their later knowledge seems to have been pioneered by Ben's defection and the overtaking of the Dharma facilities under his leadership. On the other hand, Dharma seemed just as mystified with the Hostiles, but they were able to garner some information from interrogations, including knowledge that the Hostiles worshipped an island deity named Jacob.
Weird.
Weird. And final cue for you.
Uh-huh.
Why did Locke enter 77? Why'd he do it?
Because it was taken over by Hostiles.
I mean, true. But the long answer is Locke is trying to blow up all possible means of contact with the outside world, both believing that the survivors need to make a commitment to the island,
Uh-huh.
as well as believing that it is the only place that he is safe from his father. What? Excuse me?
You know what's crazy about that?
What?
His father comes to the island.
His father comes to the... Yeah, fucking, like, great job.
He
dingus.
isn't safe from his father.
Maybe if I blow up everything on the island, my dad won't come back.
But
Whoops.
his dad came.
The opposite. Let that be a lesson to all of you people who are trying to blow things up to escape from your dad.
Your dad will come.
Your dad will come through.
No matter where you are.
No matter where you are. I suppose that's the episode, isn't
That's
it?
the episode. It was fine.
It was all right. It was
good.
lot of peaks, a lot of valleys.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the most like inconsistent episodes we've seen
Yeah.
in both directions.
It was so good, and the Locke chess thing disappoints me.
Yeah. I mean, that's just lost in a microcosm, huh?
Yeah.
So, for our next episode, what do you say we figure it out?
I went on random.org,
Mm-hmm.
did 1 to 60, press generate. I got 38.
38. Season 4, episode 10. Something Nice Back Home.
Something nice back home.
It's a Jack episode, don't
Let's
you know?
watch it next week.
Next week, we're going to have to watch it. That's been this show. Thank you for listening. You can follow me, Bean, at Barrier Trio.
Follow me at James Brown.
You can follow the show, facebook.com/The Island Shuffle or twitter.com @Island Shuffle. We are hosted on noisepace.xyz, which is a podcast network hosted by friend of the show, Matt, full of great podcasts. My voice is shot, so I'm not going to list them all. But they're all good. Trust me, they're a delight. If you like us, definitely check it out. I'm pretty sure that's the whole deal, isn't it?
That's it. That's us.
That's us, baby.
See you again soon.
We'll see you soon. Hey, sooner than later. Sooner than you can say hot potato.
Oh, hot potato.
Well, we're back with the next episode. Just kidding. We've got to wrap this one up first and foremost by saying what we always say.